Hi everyone! Today we will learn English through an inspiring story of Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook. In this lesson, you will learn English speaking, simple grammar, new vocabulary, and sentence formation all through an easy and interesting story. This method will help you understand English naturally and with confidence. So please watch the video till the end to get the full benefit. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share to support the channel and keep learning English with us. Mark Zuckerberg was born on May 14, 1984, in New York. From a young age, he loved computers. When he was about 11, he created a small program that connected computers at his home and his father's dental clinic. While in school, he kept building new software, even a music player that could learn what people liked to listen to. In 2002, Mark went to Harvard University to study psychology and computer science. He was known there as a talented programmer. During college, he created small websites for students. One of them became very popular but was shut down, and Mark publicly apologized. In early 2004, while still at Harvard, Mark started working on a new idea with his roommates. On February 4, 2004, they launched a website called The Facebook. It quickly spread from one college to another. Mark later left Harvard to focus on the project full-time. Facebook grew rapidly and became one of the biggest social media platforms. In 2012, the company went public, and Mark became the youngest self-made billionaire. Over time, he became one of the richest people in the world and the CEO of Meta Platforms. He has also donated large amounts of his wealth to charity through the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative. 6 days after Facebook launched, 3 Harvard seniors accused Mark Zuckerberg of misleading them. They claimed he had promised to help build their site, but instead used their ideas to create Facebook. The issue reached the student newspaper, and later they filed a lawsuit. The case ended in a settlement that included cash and Facebook shares. At first, Facebook was only for Harvard students. Soon, Mark and his co-founder, Dustin Moskovitz, expanded it to other universities. To focus fully on the project, Mark dropped out of Harvard. The team moved to Palo Alto, California, working out of a small rented house. There, Mark met investor Peter Thiel, who supported the company early on. They rejected offers to sell Facebook and chose to stay in Silicon Valley. Facebook kept growing fast. By 2010, it reached 500 million users. Mark believed in moving fast and experimenting, which led to the culture of hackathons at Facebook. He often said it was okay to break things to make them better. Over the years, Mark received global recognition for his influence in technology. He met world leaders, spoke at major tech events, and pushed projects to connect more people to the internet. Despite his success, he took a $1 salary as CEO and pledged to give most of his wealth to charity. In 2017, Harvard invited him back to deliver a speech and awarded him an honorary degree. A month after Facebook launched in 2004, another student service called i2Hub also appeared on campuses. Both platforms were growing fast and getting media attention. Soon after, Mark and his co-founder, Dustin Moskovitz, launched WireHog, a file-sharing project that later helped shape Facebook's future apps. In 2013, Mark started Internet.org to bring internet access to people who were still offline. The project faced criticism in India, where many felt it went against internet freedom, and it was eventually shut down there in 2016. Around the same time, Mark also became involved in big science ideas, including a space project called Breakthrough Starshot. As Facebook grew, legal struggles followed. The Winklevoss twins and their partner accused Mark of stealing their idea and took him to court. After years of legal battles, the case ended in a settlement with cash and Facebook shares. Another co-founder, Eduardo Saverin, also sued Mark over money issues, but that case was settled privately. Facebook also faced international controversy. In 2010, Pakistan temporarily blocked Facebook over a contest hosted on the platform, and a criminal investigation was announced, though the site was later restored. That same year, a man named Paul Seglia claimed he owned most of Facebook based on an old contract. Facebook strongly denied this. The case collapsed when authorities found evidence was fabricated, and Seglia was later arrested for fraud. In 2014, Mark Zuckerberg bought a large area of land on the Hawaiian island of Kauai. Later, he filed lawsuits to sort out ownership of small pieces of land inside his property. When people criticized him, he explained that he wanted to fairly compensate the owners. After learning more about Hawaiian land laws and their history, he dropped the lawsuits and said he regretted moving too fast. Over time, he continued buying land there and turned the area into a private retreat, even sharing lighthearted posts about raising cattle on the property. As Facebook grew more powerful, Mark was often called to speak before the U.S. Congress. In 2018, he testified about user data and admitted that Facebook had broken people's trust. In later hearings, lawmakers questioned him about misinformation, hate speech, and user safety. In 2024, during a hearing on child safety, Mark stood up and publicly apologized to families affected by online harm. At the same time, court cases accused him of rejecting plans meant to protect teenagers' mental health on Facebook and Instagram. The documents showed how much influence he had over major decisions at Meta. Mark's life was also shown in popular media. In 2010, a movie called The Social Network told the story of Facebook's early days. Mark said he wished the movie had not been made while he was still alive. Though the film was successful and won awards, he felt it did not fully represent him. Still, he later appeared on TV with the actor who played him, handling the situation with humor and calm. Many people later said the movie The Social Network did not show the real Mark Zuckerberg. Writer David Kirkpatrick explained that while some events were true, much of the story was exaggerated. He said Mark was not rude or cruel like the movie showed, and his main goal was simply to create a new way for people to share information. Others who worked with Mark also said the film made him seem more socially awkward than he really was. Mark himself said the movie was not accurate. He explained that he never wanted to join elite clubs at Harvard, even though the film suggested that was his motivation. Over time, the movie became popular, but many agreed it was more storytelling than truth. Mark also appeared in pop culture in other ways. He voiced himself on The Simpsons, was joked about on Saturday Night Live, and appeared in documentaries. These portrayals were often humorous, and Mark seemed to take them lightly. Alongside fame, Mark focused heavily on giving back. He and his wife, Priscilla Chan, donated large amounts of money to education, health, and science. He signed the Giving Pledge, promising to donate most of his wealth. Together, they created the Chan-Zuckerberg Initiative to support equality, medical research, and scientific innovation. Over the years, they donated billions to schools, hospitals, disease control, journalism, and research. Mark said his goal was to use his wealth to help advance human potential and improve lives around the world. Mark Zuckerberg registered to vote in 2002, but did not actually vote until 2008. He's never publicly shared his political party, but over the years he became involved in politics through fundraising and advocacy, especially around education and immigration. He hosted fundraisers for leaders like Chris Christie and Cory Booker and donated large sums to education causes. In 2013, Mark helped launch a group called FWD.US to support immigration reform and better education. While he said the goal was fairness for undocumented immigrants, the group was criticized for supporting oil and gas projects, which led to protests from progressive organizations. Mark personally responded to critics, explaining that his focus was on treating people fairly. He also took public stands on social issues. He joined Facebook employees in pride marches, criticized U.S. government surveillance programs, supported Muslim communities after terrorist attacks, and strongly defended the Black Lives Matter movement inside Facebook. At times, he openly criticized government policies, including immigration bans. As he grew older, his views appeared to shift. By the mid-2020s, Mark said he regretted not pushing back more against government pressure on content moderation and decided to step away from funding election-related efforts. He began discouraging political activism inside Meta and described his own views as closer to libertarian or classical liberal ideas. Mark also maintained relationships with political leaders across parties, including Donald Trump. Their relationship was sometimes tense but later improved, especially after Trump returned to power. Mark publicly supported U.S. technology leadership and opposed strict regulations, saying he wanted to protect American companies from foreign pressure. Mark Zuckerberg met Priscilla Chan during his second year at Harvard, and they began dating in 2003. Years later, they married in 2012 in a small ceremony at his home, which also celebrated her graduation from medical school. The couple later had 3 daughters born in 2015, 2017, and 2023. They also became well known for their dog, Beast, who gained a huge following online. By 2025, the family was living on the large private property in Palo Alto. Over the years, Mark became one of the most recognized figures in the world. He was named Time's Person of the Year in 2010 and repeatedly listed among the most influential and powerful people globally. His wealth grew rapidly, placing him among the richest people in the world, with major real estate holdings in California and Hawaii. In 2024, people noticed a change in his public style. Known for simple clothes, he began wearing trendier outfits, though he denied making a deliberate image change. Around the same time, he also attracted attention for owning large luxury yachts, which sparked criticism because of environmental concerns. Mark's personal beliefs also evolved. Raised Jewish, he later described himself as an atheist, but said religion still mattered to him. He spent time traveling across the U.S. to meet different communities. In recent years, he developed a strong interest in martial arts, trained seriously, competed in tournaments, and even planned an MMA debut before an injury delayed those plans.